Hello, everyone. It's another Saturday. It's the best day of the week. And Cruel Fan has you covered for another college football Saturday show. And this one's kind of sad because for a lot of teams, this might be their second to last, or it might be their very last game of the regular season. So we have a lot to get in today, but it's kind of a sad one because not too many college football weeks left for us here at Cruel Fan. And bowl season will be crazy, but then it's over like that, and we got to wait until next August. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Heisman. It's getting close. Voting must be in by December 21st. So that means that these quarterbacks, and I say that because a quarterback will win this award per usual, will have to basically put on one or two more performances that really show how good they are in order to get some recognition. So I'm just going to go over a couple of options right now for the Heisman candidate position. Number one is Mack Jones. He is the betting favorite. He is Alabama's quarterback. Basically, he is the quarterback for the number one team in the nation. He's having a good season, and so it's hard for anyone to bet against Mack Jones. Number two, I really like Kyle Trask out of Florida. He reminds me of a Joe Burrow type. You didn't know much about him last season. Comes in this season really hot. Sets an SEC record for touchdowns thrown through 6 games, has this unbelievable connection with Kyle Pitts, his tight end, and Trask has led the Gators to new heights on offense, so he's been really entertaining. Then you've got the guy who everyone probably thought was going to run away with this award, Trevor Lawrence, but he ended up missing 2 games with Clemson, and Lawrence just hasn't done enough, and he was pulled early in games early in the season because their opponents weren't that great. So Trevor Lawrence just really doesn't have the tape or the numbers right now to be a top Heisman candidate, but of course he'll still be up there on the list. And then the other guy I really like, no, it's not Justin Fields. It is Zach Wilson out of BYU. He has been electric. Just 2 interceptions all year. He has BYU undefeated. What hurts him is what hurts BYU. Their strength of schedule, the fact that they don't play in the Power 5. And so Zach Wilson will have some hurdles to get over in terms of winning the Heisman this year. There are very few top 25 matchups this week, only 2 actually between 2 top 25 matchups, but every game is important because you've got the college football playoff right now, and it currently goes Alabama, Notre Dame, Clemson, and Ohio State. Then you have Texas A&M and Florida. So the biggest game for any of those teams this week is actually for Texas A&M. They're sitting a game out, and they are taking on Auburn, who is no longer ranked, but Auburn is still one of those teams that can trip you up and really ruin someone's season. They've done it before to Alabama numerous times, and I could see this happening to Texas A&M here. They took on LSU last week, and honestly, just not very impressive. It seems like these Jimbo Fisher teams come in with a lot of hype. There's a lot of excitement about them, and they kind of just flatline during the season. Maybe this time around, Kellen Mond's going to come out in this game really upset with what happened last week and just light up the Tigers' defense. But I'll say this, it seems like Texas A&M plays up and plays down to their competition. They certainly played down to LSU, but that team is not the national championship team they were, and they weren't able to fight back in that game. This Auburn team, they are a team that can fight back, and if you give them a lead, they might run with it. So this could be a huge trip-up game for Texas A&M, and one loss there, and they're completely screwed. They go back to the line. They're not playing in the SEC championship game. That will go to Alabama, and so Texas A&M has to prove that they can win these games and then hope for something in front of them to happen in order for them to slip into the top 4. The other game that I really like this weekend came out of nowhere. I really like Coastal Carolina and Liberty. Then Liberty had to pull out, so Coastal Carolina got on the phone with BYU, a team that's been wanting to prove to the entire country that they can hang around, and they have decided to play each other. So this is number 13 against number 18. It is just the 6th pre-bowl December game between 2 undefeated teams. So this is going to be very exciting, and if Cincinnati loses, or even if one of these teams wins, this could be the team that goes into the New Year's 6 bowl spot for that non-Power 5 grouping. And so this is a huge game for whoever plays. We've been doing real good on the bets on this show, so we're going to keep it going. I have 2 bets that I really like this week, and I'm actually going to throw them in a teaser. So if you don't know what that means, that's when you take a couple of points off the bet. It lowers your odds, but a more likely chance for you to win. So the first one we're going to start with is Indiana and Wisconsin. The Hoosiers were having such a good season, and then their starting quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., tore his ACL. He's done for the year, and he was the heart and soul of that Indiana team, and I'm nervous about how they're going to play in his absence. Wisconsin, they haven't been great either, but I trust them a lot more in this game coaching-wise and quarterback-wise. They were minus 13. We're going to buy that all the way down to minus 7, taking the 6 points. So we have Wisconsin minus 7, and then you're going to pair that with over 49 in the Boston College Virginia game. That over typically would be 55. You're going to buy it down to 49 points. That's because BC is 4-5 in their for the over in their last 5 games, and then Virginia, they are 6-2 on the season and hitting the over. 2 teams that average a lot of points, and they should be able to fly that number easily. All right, enjoy college football Saturday. We're not going to get many of them left, and we'll talk to you next week.